This is a certified hood classic.
Hey guys, welcome back to another new edition, no Bobby Brown of My Brothers Opinion. We are back,
yes, Sirski,
for another episode. You know, it always feels good to be. It's good to be back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah.
I get a little jittery. You know, I get a little excited. You know what I'm saying?
No bullshit.
Get to record again. You know what I'm saying?
We love doing this shit.
Yeah, man.
Taking over too.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Taking
Sirski.
over this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? No.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
Who the hell you got to the left for you? Nigga?
You know what I'm saying? We got a very special guest in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
You think you got to introduce this nigga like the nigga won a championship, like an NBA retired player type shit.
on some Shannon Sharp type of intro and shit. You know what I'm saying?
We got 7-time world take your bitch champion. 7-time whip your ass
Whip
champion.
your ass, beat your ass, you know, hood champion. You know what I'm saying?
Whip your ass in front of your mama house type shit.
and he got his degree.
And he got a degree.
What you mean?
No bullshit.
You know what I'm
We got the mean killer, you know what I'm saying? Volley in this bitch.
You know what I'm saying? The one and only, the legendary Volley.
Yeah.
He in the building.
Clap it up,
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate y'all.
Yes.
I've known these boys since elementary school.
Yeah,
Facts.
man. We go way back. Do y'all remember the first? Not the first time.
Hold on. Before I let you finish, I gotta let these niggas know.
We gotta give them the mission
We
statement.
gotta let them know. Now, before we finish, let me just say, we did not come in to show out. We did not come in to impress you. But to tell you the truth, when we leave from here, we gone. And I don't care what you think about us. But just remember, when shit hits the fan, brother, whether it's next year, 10 years, 20 years from now, you never be able to say these brothers lied to you, Jack.
It's facts.
Thing ain't lie.
We had to let them know. You know what I'm saying?
But just quick story time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys remember because you know we all used to be chilling at the bus stop and whatnot.
That's a fact.
Do you remember the first time when we was like, oh, we cousins?
Yeah, I believe it was in elementary school. You know, like we just used to click so tight. You know, we just always at the bus stop together, going to each other's houses together. So we just honestly just started telling everybody we were family.
Facts.
You know, like, but it is true though. You know, blood doesn't make you family; it just goes off of those experiences.
That's right.
That's a motherfucking fact, man.
That's right. Yeah, but we was on the bus. We was all sitting together, and the bus monitor, she came up to us. I forgot her name. White lady with blonde hair. She was cool. She came up to us. She was
I
like,
think it was
"What?"
Miss Karen, bro.
Yeah.
No bullshit.
For real, yeah.
That's crazy. Her name was Karen.
Yeah, her name was Karen.
Oh, it was.
No, Miss Karen was nice, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Miss Karen was
Yeah,
nice.
Damn.
Oh, that's
Yeah, Miss
crazy.
Karen. Yeah, she came up to us. She was like, "Yo, why you guys always together? I always see you guys sitting together." And I think it was Volley. He was like, "Oh no, because we're cousins." You know, so ever since then, you know,
It's been official.
we've been. That's the official. You know, that was the official stamping right
Hey,
there.
I mean,
you know?
are we not all family? We're all from the motherland, right?
Nah, facts.
Facts though.
Facts, man.
Damn, you got good ass memory. I don't even remember that shit.
Damn, you don't remember that joint?
I remember. I mean, when you say it, it's like it comes back to
comes
me.
back
But
to you
like
a little bit.
off top, if you was to ask me, nah, I wouldn't remember that.
Sometimes I
what's
feel
up,
like a motherfucking elephant. You know what I'm saying?
No bullshit.
I'm the elephant in the room. Feel me?
Literally though, big ass, fat ass me.
Yeah. All right. Calm down.
I'll let you live, nigga.
But nah, man. Yeah, we got our man's Volley, man. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I just became a father for the second time.
Two-time father, man. How is it being a father, man?
Honestly, it's the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever.
Damn.
You know, I wouldn't change it for the world. It just changes your perspective on things. Makes you more responsible. Gives you that drive. It's just, you know, I already had that drive just based off of where we came from. But
Type shit.
having her behind me is like I have a battery in my backpack now. Like, you know, somebody put a battery in my back, and I can just I feel like I can do anything.
Damn.
Anything. There's nothing in this. Whatever my daughter wants, she has to have.
Facts. Okay.
Has to have it.
That's fire.
That's fire, man. That's right. You know this motherfucker over here. You know,
Yeah.
he's over here trying to pull some strings and whatnot. Yeah.
Josh forever's team single.
And somebody low key got my eye right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Somebody got his eye. You know what I'm saying?
Little DR baddie here. Boniqua.
The Boricuas, bro. It's always the Boricuas.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, she might put Blue Hitty on or some shit. I don't know.
Hey, just watch out for the brothers, bro.
Hey, luckily she ain't got none.
Yeah.
She ain't got no. Oh, shit.
No brother. No
This nigga
brother.
in the clear. Then she might have a crazy ass uncle.
The
Real
uncle,
talk.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So especially in Prague, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta watch for the uncles.
For sure, nigga. That
She ain't got
shit
no crazy exes or anything like that.
crazy exes? Nah, hell no.
Alright, so
Even if it was, fuck that nigga, you heard?
you little in the clear then. Yeah.
Fuck that nigga, that nigga ain't on shit.
Nah,
You
real
want no
talk, real
smoke?
talk. We ain't worried about that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
worry about that shit.
ain't one bit, nigga. Nah, but this is a good ass episode though,
Man,
right?
this is gonna be a good episode. You know, jam packed episode. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Got our man V in the building. You know what I'm saying? So just give him a little bit of your background. You know who you is.
Yeah,
you
let
know,
these people know, man.
where you from, the things you had to endure, what you
Real
had to
nigga right here.
overcome. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And what got you to the point that you are today. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, that's
where
a
you
whole
are
lot.
today. You know
But
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Yeah.
Run it down.
It's a long story for sure. But
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm first generation. My family came here probably in the early 2000s. That's when I got here, at least. I got here in the year 2000. Just straight from Liberia. Came to here. They brought me over to Providence, Rhode Island. I didn't know nobody. I didn't know how to speak the language. I haven't even seen snow yet. So, going from Liberia to the United States in Providence, Rhode Island, you know, seeing snow for the first time, that was crazy. Crazy. But yeah, man, you know, I'm from Providence. I claim that as my home because that's the place that raised me.
For sure.
When I left Providence, I was just, you know, you guys know, I was just getting into a lot of trouble back in those days, just running with the wrong crowd. And I can't even say that they were the wrong crowd because, you know, without them, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So, you know, just
Tight shit.
those experiences with them still molded me into the man that I am today. So I appreciate that, you know. I still keep in touch with all those kids.
Real nigga too, man.
For real.
Kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. 12th grade.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
You know, but yeah, I mean, after my times in Rhode Island, just running around doing some crazy things. And keep in mind, while I was doing these crazy things, your boy was still making honor roll.
Smart ass nigga too, yeah.
Your boy was still making honor rolls, but you know, I'll steal your bike, I'll steal your car. You know,
No bullshit.
you want problems, we can handle it. I'll do all of that. But you know, I was always about my grades, and my parents saw that. I was like, yo, why is this kid? He makes good grades all the time, but it's just like he's always getting in trouble. That's when they decided to just move the family out, and they brought me to down south. I ended up finishing high school in down South Carolina. I was wrestling over there, something that niggas really don't be doing. Black people don't really be wrestling like that. But you know, I played football throughout my whole adolescent times. But when I got to high school, everybody was just a lot bigger than me. So I was like, bro, I'm honestly just going to join the wrestling team, and that was my way out. Wrestling got me a scholarship to go to college. I did 4 years in college, D2 athlete. Okay. After I graduated college with the wrestling scholarship, I moved down to Kansas City. That's where I landed my first big boy job. Lived there for about 5 years, traveled the world, just being a project manager. I went to places like Ireland, London, Italy.
Damn.
I've been in Paris.
Damn.
And I didn't spend a dime on none of this, bro. This is just all just like business trips. You know?
Damn.
So,
That's fire.
So to go from being in Providence where I'm literally washing my clothes with dish detergent. I'm putting dish detergent in the laundry machine to wash my clothes because your boys can't afford, laundry detergent. And to be, going to places like Ireland and going to Paris and going to freaking Milan, and it was an eye opener for me. It was just like, wow, there's more to the world than what I was seeing in little Providence. But again, I don't downplay Providence at any moment because Providence made me who I am. That's my home for real. Providence, that's home. But yeah, after I left Kansas City, I moved back to New England. Now I live in Connecticut.
Yeah, there we go. Full circle, man. Full circle.
Big
you know
full
what I'm
time,
saying?
full circle, man.
Now you say you're first generation. You know, coming here for the first time. How long did it take for you to like get used to the American way or the American culture? You know what I'm saying? Was you faced with any racism or anything crazy like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, honestly, bro, that was kind of weird. It's like, because when you're back home in Africa, and keep in mind, I was young over there. I was about 5 years old, but when I was in Africa, I didn't really know skin color. I didn't really know that. I just knew that I was a human. So when I came over here, honestly, at first, it wasn't even the white folks that was being racist to me. It was the black folks that were being racist.
And that's
to me.
how it was back then.
That's exactly how
It was
it
crazy. It's like, bro, like, nobody back home in Africa was ever calling me. And I guess let me take that back. I hate to use the term Africa because Africa is a continent. There's plenty of different countries, a lot of countries in Africa. Mm-hmm. So when I say Africa, throughout this podcast, I mean Liberia. That's where my family's from. That's where my roots are. So it's just a habit. But I'm not trying to be ignorant here. When I say Africa, there's a whole different countries out there, and I'm from a country called Liberia.
Liberia.
Shout out to LIB.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, going back to topic here. When I came over here, it was really more of the black kids and the African Americans and the Hispanics that were really bothering me the most. It wasn't really the white folks that was really bothering me. Mm-hmm. Getting called things like African booty scratcher.
I hate that.
I was like, bro, like, I don't know what they think of what happens in Africa, but it is not what you're seeing on TV.
Not for real.
It is not what you're seeing on TV, bro. And honestly, I would argue that it's better in Africa because one example of that is when I own something in Africa, I own it. There's no consistent paying taxes on it. Over here in the U.S., you own your car. You still got to pay taxes on that stuff.
So you buy your house, you got to pay property tax, all that shit, man.
But that was a big learning curve for me, just seeing how the black community treated African Americans. The black community treated true people from the motherland. So that's why when people ask me, hey, what are you? They'd be like, are you? I'd be like, I'm African. Mm-hmm. And niggas used to get always mad at me, be like, bro, I would ask them like, hey, what are you? And they'd be like, I'm black. And I'm like, oh, so, that means you're African. I'm like, nah, I'm black. I'm not African, bro. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, cool. I am black. I'm African. That used to piss them off. It's like, bro, if you're black, you're African. And I was like, you hear yourself, you just told me that you're not African because you're black. So
niggas was confused back then. No bullshit.
Real talk. But yeah, that was really one of the weirdest things that I saw, just being outcast by my own people. I felt that was definitely strange, especially on the bus. I hated being called an African booty scratcher.
African booty, yeah, man.
I just didn't know what that meant at all.
Same here. I'm like, yo, what the fuck do you mean by African? What do you mean by right? When the fuck you seen an African scratching their ass? Everybody scratching their ass. The fuck?
Real talk. I would argue that plumbers be scratching their ass more.
No bull. For real. That shit never made any sense to me, man.
Yeah.
Never made any sense to me.
A mix of that and the weather. That was a so just different, and the food, the way people talked, I'm over here, first generation, just fresh in the U.S. I don't know what's cool, True. My parents buy me clothes. I'm thinking these clothes are cool.
Right.
I'm going to school. I'm getting picked on for wearing the wrong clothes. I'm like, bro, I have clothes on. It's new. So when Michael Blackson had said that line, I really felt that. I was like, bro, I'm in new clothes. You're still picking on me. It makes no sense. Yeah. So that was really weird, and just not knowing the language. It took me about, I would say, by the time I got to first grade or the end of kindergarten, I was speaking English. By the time I got to third grade, I understood English completely. Like there was nothing in the English dictionary that I didn't know. That's when I transitioned and got out of the ESL classes. And again, ESL, the English is a second language, and I started being in the regular classes because I learned the language.
And that kind of brings me into like the first topic. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's kind of like you said. You coming straight from Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's usually not the people of, I say, like white people and stuff like that. It's usually people who look like me and you who tend to be a little bit more harsh, especially towards those who are just coming straight off, call them FOBs, fresh off the boat. People, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to know, just give y'all opinions or, y'all viewpoints of, what is the division between, Black Americans, African Americans, Africans, what's the division? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been doing research. I've been trying to look into it and like see like what is it that divides us? Because obviously, divided we fall, united we stand type shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just want to know like what's y'all viewpoint on the division between African Americans, Black Americans, and Africans in general. You know what I'm saying?
Josh, I'm gonna let you take that first. Like, I mean, I feel like I gotta think on this because I don't want nobody coming for my neck.
Just off top, I ain't gonna lie. On some it's on some woke shit, but on some real shit too. It's fucking white. What's that? White supremacy. It's that. You know what I'm saying? When they brought our ancestors on the boat and shit like that, just to cause confusion and shit. So that's when, you know what I'm saying, they took niggas' identities and names and culture and flipped that whole shit, and motherfuckers just, because the generation down the line, motherfuckers just think they're American now and shit like that, just because they was born here. But nah, not really.
Yeah.
Even though white folks that came here, they're not
American.
They're not from it. They're not American.
Right.
So because of that, and then black people in their ignorance.
Yeah. Honestly, like
ignorant as fuck. So they just you wasn't born here, so you're not American. Oh, you're African. Like,
yeah,
you dumb motherfucker. You the same shit.
The same thing. I feel like honestly, like especially with Black Americans, those who have been here for generations going on, I don't know if they take it as an insult when you say, oh, if you trace back your lineage where you originally come from, you come from Africa, and they're like, it's almost like it's offensive to them for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? And I was thinking, because Africa isn't a developed country, so, when an Irish person comes to America, they can proudly say, yeah, I'm Irish American, or let's say their family been here for some generations, but they do their lineage goes back to Ireland, or their lineage goes back to, let's say Italy or Europe somewhere, you know what I'm saying? These established countries, they can go back and they can be like, oh yeah, like, even though I'm from America, but I'm proud to say I'm Italian, or I'm proud to say I'm from this part of Europe. But like, if you was to ask a black person to like go do a DNA test and all that, or just asking them like, oh, you're African, they're like, what do you mean I'm not African? I was born here, my family been here for generations. It's almost like they're offended because of the development or the stigma that comes behind being African, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I've seen, viewing it, you know what I'm saying, as I've been like doing research and stuff like that, because I'm like, why wouldn't you be proud to say you're African, like as if it's a problem or it's an issue, you know what I mean? So
that's why I said it's part of the, not to cut you off, but it's just part of the programming that white folks done install and our people's mind and shit like that. Once they see like the shit's not popular or it got a bad rep to it and shit like that, then they don't want to be associated with it and shit like that.
Word. Okay, yeah. I mean, here's how I'm going to answer this. 'Cause again, don't come for my neck. I'm just giving my opinion. There's
that's why it's called my brother's opinion.
Exactly.
I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer here, but just based what's in my head and what I've seen based off of my experiences. That's what I'm going to say here. The difference between Africans and Black African Americans here in the U.S. I think one of the main thing is just the simple fact that people from Africa, we don't think we're oppressed, nobody in Africa thinks that, anybody's above them. And people in Africa, they might not have nothing, but I guarantee you they're a lot more happy than the black folks here.
That's a fact.
100%. When I go over there, those people might not have anything, but they are happy. Everybody's leaving their doors unlocked, none of that, no chaos, nothing like that. But I think a big part of it is also just not knowing where exactly in Africa that you're from.
Right.
So that's why they kind of scramble, be like, well, I'm not African. And again, to your point that when you mentioned that they just don't feel that pride since Africa is not a developed country. But guys, you have to look at it this way. and I hate to put it this way, but like Africa's been raped so many times, so many times.
That's a fact.
Africa's been raped by the Europeans.
Europe, yes, the Chinese people, everybody, man.
Everybody's been over there. So it's just like, how do you expect a country to be so good and have those resources to provide to its people when everybody has come and taken all the resources? So even with the resources taken away, the fact that these people are still surviving is just amazing to me. It's like they're still surviving, they're still happy, they're waking up every day, and they're going about their business. And for some reason, when they come over here and they're put in environments that they can actually thrive, they thrive way better than folks that's been here for years.
Facts.
I've never met any Africans that have been removed from being in Africa and coming to a place that has more resources and did not excel. So I think that's a big part of it. Is like we just don't feel like we're oppressed. We know where we're from. We know our roots. We know our family, and we take pride in where we're from because we know the history. So I think that's that might be just a surface of it. But I think based off of my experiences, that's what I have noticed. People just don't know where they're from, and they don't truly have that pride in Africa because Africa is still considered a third world country, which it is. I'm not going to lie to you, but unfortunately, the continent has been raped plenty times.
Plenty of times.
All the resources have been taken away. But we take it with a smile, and we're still surviving. We're still here. So that in itself is something else.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if Africa was to be a well-developed country like a Europe or America,
also
you know what I'm saying?
Also too, real quick, not to cut you off, but like niggas don't do their research, especially niggas in America. Niggas are not. Especially back then too.
But like you will tell them like, yo, you're African, right? And they'll be looking like,
I think people nowadays change though.
They'll be looking like a straight up African. I'm like, yo, you're African. No, I'm not. What do you mean? I'm not. I'm black. I'm like, bro, you look more African than me, my nigga. Like you're African, bro.
I think if you tell people that shit now, though, like they accept it way more than back then in the day. Though.
A lot more now than they did when we were growing up.
Exactly.
When we were growing up, bro. I know Africans that were hiding to be Africans.
That's a fact.
I know Africans that were trying to pretend like they were Jamaicans or fucking Haitians or something. Sapase. Nah, I don't say sapase. I say my Pekin.
But yeah, because of the internet and shit now, I think black Americans are way more accepted. Like I said, the Afro beats and all that shit helped break down the walls of all that shit.
Definitely.
Well, everybody was making fun of Afro beats, what they call it now, but they was making fun of African, especially Liberian music and shit like that. But now everybody's like, yo, oh, you African? Oh, you got Afro beats on your phone? Oh, you play Afro beats and this and that? Oh, what's the latest artist and the third? Like, so like nowadays, because of society, I said because of the internet, niggas are more aware and actually did some type of research or some shit.
Yeah.
So times is changing though.
That is true. Nowadays, more people are welcoming to be African. Say, hey, I guess now we're all scratching our booties.
No bullshit.
we all African. Where the fuck did that shit even start?
I don't know.
Who started that shit?
That is crazy. You know.
Yo, African. Yo, you an African booty scratcher.
And another thing I want to put on that too is, and again, I might get some heat for this, but honestly, I feel like people from Africa are a lot more respectful than the black Americans in the U.S. And again, this is just based off of my experiences. So don't come for my neck, and I don't want no smoke. I'm just saying, people in Africa, family is very strong for them. Like you don't disrespect your parents at all. Like your parents' word is law.
Yeah.
We take very, very big pride and respect. So coming over here in the U.S. and just seeing how some of the kids were talking to their parents and all that stuff, I'm like, bro, that would never fly back home, bro. They would tie me up. They would tie me up in a heartbeat and just whoop me so bad that I would never do that again. Like respect is huge back home, and I honestly, I'm starting to see more respect now, but as a whole, back when I was coming up here, I did not really see that respect from the black community, which was unfortunate.
No, that's facts. That's facts. So being all that you have gone through, you know what I'm saying. What has it been? You said your parents, coming from Liberia. What has been, or what has led you to the success that you have today?
Success that I have today, honestly, consistency. Just been staying consistent. God, and just changing my environment, bro. You really are a product of your environment.
That's a fact.
There's no way around that, because
That's a fact.
I was doing a lot of crazy stuff in Rhode Island, but I was still making good grades. But since I was around all that chaos, gang banging, the drugs, the fast life, girls and all that stuff, I really didn't, poke into my full potential because I was distracted. So when my parents decided, hey, Varley, we're taking you down south, it was a whole different world for me. From having a bodega on every single corner and being able to get to Walmart or any fast food restaurants within 2 minutes to having no sidewalks in South Carolina, so no public transportation, just in the woods, So all those distractions go away from me. It forced me to focus on what really mattered. It forced me to, hang out with a new group of people. Because back in Rhode Island, I would mainly hang out with all of the black kids and the Hispanic kids. When I moved down south, I
no, but some cracker ass cracker.
Yeah, and I don't by any means anything like that. I have
give a fuck. I'm gonna say that shit.
I have white friends. I have great black friends. I have great Asian friends. I have great Indian friends. I'm a great person. I'm all for. I don't discriminate at all. But when I'm down there, it forced me to hang out with different groups of people. I was forced to hang out
cracker ass crackers.
I was forced to hang out with white folks. I
was forced
to hang out with Asians and Indians. And by doing so, I never really felt that I was out of place. Like, I knew how to hang around. I can be myself around anybody. The white folks, they accepted me. They didn't just see me as a YN. Because but like,
shout out to the white people though. I ain't gonna lie.
Exactly. So just
shout out to all races.
Exactly, for sure. So just being in that environment and like being around the white folks more, it showed me that really they just don't know. Like, they're not in projects. They don't know what we go through. So like when they see stuff like that we think is normal, they just don't know it. So it's like, we think it's normal, but like it's just scaring them because they haven't really been around that. So I don't think it's necessarily them being racist at times. Sometimes it's just really, they just don't know, but as I started to hang out with them more, they, things started to make more sense. It's like, oh, that's really all it is? You're telling me I don't have to run? Like, I'm good. You're good. Nobody's trying to rob you. Niggas just trying to say hi to you.
Say hi to you.
You're good. You projects, like, on your P's and Q's, but
right.
You gotta keep your head on that swivel before you get hit with that nickel.
Exactly. But you're human. Your fight or flight is gonna kick in.
Right.
You reaching into their pockets and looking at you. Then you probably know you shouldn't be over there. But,
right.
That a big part of it, just getting out of my environment and the people that I was used to, and surrounding myself with a new group of people that I have never even hung out with before. So opened up some new doors for me, because now I'm connections. I'm getting people that are going to put me in positions that I need to be in to get to the next level. Like with the wrestling, black people don't really wrestle like that, but since I did that, I did something different. I was able to get a scholarship out of it. All my life, and I'm like, bro, why are you wrestling? That's some gay shit. Like, wrestling shit. Niggas. I mean, I'm like, why don't you join the basketball team? Why don't you do football? And I'm like, honestly, it's just, I take pride in being different, just doing something different. Like, you do the same thing.
That shit is a little homo though. I ain't gonna lie.
Wrestling honestly could be, it could be a little awkward at times, but wrestling is a tough sport.
I saw a video.
Very disciplined. It teaches you a lot of life.
The nigga had the nigga on the floor, then he turned that nigga around, just like boom, just
I know
push it. You saw that video, right?
I sent it to my friends in the group chat.
Hey, yo.
I know what you're talking about. That shit was funny, bro. That shit's hilarious.
That's Diddy's second favorite sport, goddammit.
Oh, what the fuck?
I ain't gonna have Diddy wouldn't last on the mat. Diddy wouldn't last on the mat, bro.
Get up!
He would not last on the mat. Diddy be hurt on the mat.
He would do that shit on purpose, too.
I know 126 pounders that'll beat Diddy up.
Oh, shit, man.
No cap, though. I mean, hey, going through, I just handle that shit, bro. Handle that shit. I hope you come out of it, but it's looking like crazy shit.
No.
Oh, shit, man.
That nigga gonna be like R. Kelly, nigga gone forever, man.
You gonna be in there for a minute. Yeah, you gonna be in there for a minute. But you was a little YN, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Do you think there's any difference between, the YNs, growing up my days, you know what I'm saying, compared to the YNs of today? Has it calmed down? Are they still trying to gain the recognition of the streets? You know what I'm saying? Is there any difference, or
Yeah, some things are still there, and I think some things just aren't gonna go away just based off of like environment.
Yeah.
But the young boys now, boy, they are definitely different. These boys ain't fighting. Back when I was growing up, if I had problems with somebody, I can just go fight them and handle it. We handle our business, and if we cross paths again, depending on how I'm feeling, I might steal on you again. But that's how it was. We just fought. Right around time when we got to like college, or I would say high school, that's when things started to change. Like junior year, I seen a big shift. Like niggas getting guns, no more fighting. People didn't want to get their ass beat no more. Like it was embarrassing for them. Like you why fight you? I'm not fighting you. I'm gonna shoot you.
I'm gonna shoot you.
So it's like these days say the young boys are a lot more wild and a lot more unpredictable. So that's why me personally, I really don't like be like putting myself in that environment no more, because I just don't know what to expect. Back to as simple as somebody's just gonna want to fight me. Somebody might get a quick one in, but I didn't have to worry about getting shot.
Right.
So. Nowadays, niggas start shooting around in middle school. Niggas don't no fighting at all. Like
niggas are scared to shoot the fair one.
We're bringing BB guns in school. These young boys, they're bringing the real shit to school.
Whole Glock 9 and
shit with switches and all that.
We knew better than to bring real guns to school. We weren't doing that. So in a way, I feel like our generation was more discreet.
Facts.
But these new guys, they just don't care. But again, that's because with the time, technology these days. So it's easier to get recognized, but at the same time, it's very easy to tell on yourself.
Exactly. I was just about to say, careful. Especially with the introduction of the internet, and I might have to hold on. Intermission.
Liquid means rewind. The gunshot means forward. You requested it, so we rewind.
And for some reason, it seems to be like obviously when you're young, you're dumb, your frontal lobe ain't fully developed yet, so the decisions that you make are just quick with it. All right, this nigga talking shit on the internet. All right, I know where this nigga live. Let me go run up on him real quick. And then they put the whole shit on live and everything like that.
That's the part that don't make no fucking sense.
No sense.
Which it makes it obviously easier for police to fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Because like V said, when we was doing this shit, we was mad discreet with it. Like if I didn't tell you nothing, you wouldn't know that I just fucking robbed a fucking Dollar Tree the other day or some shit. Like, or I just stole on somebody. You never guess that shit.
You'll never know.
But niggas nowadays always recording, trying to post shit.
They posting shit. They posting the guns. They posting the money. They posting their drugs. They posting everything to give them that quote unquote street cred that they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they're building up a case for themselves. And I always tell niggas.
My thing is though,
people be thinking that feds ain't looking at them, or especially when you're young. You know what I'm saying? But they're building up a case as you go on,
My thing is too, even when we did have the phones and the cameras would start getting better and shit, like we did not post the shit.
No, that's dangerous.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas knew off rip that shit was federal, but now niggas want to post this shit. Like, that's the part that really don't make no fucking sense to me.
Bro. Back in the days, and I guess it's just speaking from my experiences, we had probably like 1, 2, 3 guns in the squad.
That's facts.
Everybody knew where the gun was. Yep. You needed it. You went and handled your business.
Facts.
But nobody's posting nothing.
No, we're not posting shit.
You're not posting nothing. Nobody knew who had it at the time. None of that. You just went and handled your business and did what you had to do. But nowadays, they just want to get it out there. And honestly, I don't think that's the way to go about things. Some things are just meant to be private.
That's a fact.
No, that's true, man.
That's a fact.
That's true. But like you said, everything, it always boils down to environment, and as long as these things are going on in these various neighborhoods across the country, I'm saying it will always be a continuing cycle of obviously as time goes on it's only going to get worse, I'm saying, because like you said before, with us it was a little bit more discreet, I'm saying. Now everything is out there in the open, I'm saying, and everybody is just seeking revenge at the end of the day. So you fuck around, you're on my block, you do something on my block, you kill one of my homeboys. All right, now I got to retaliate. And then I kill one of your homeboys. Now you got to retaliate. So it's always an ongoing cycle of, you did something to me. All right, let me do something back to you. And so long as these things continue to go on, there will never be any type of growth within these various neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it makes me wonder if these things will ever cease or come to a stop, or if anything like that.
That's a good question. I don't think it would.
You don't think?
I don't think it would, because niggas are just ignorant. But also too, like, nobody's trying to bring the community together. Like I said in a past episode, if niggas had establishment, or if niggas looked at just go to New York, like already in the East Coast of things. If niggas just went to New York and see how communities are over there and shit like that, you could take that same idea that them motherfuckers have and apply that shit to the black community. Niggas have establishments and businesses and
there's a
schools and shit in their languages in America. Like,
there's a whole community. I'm forgetting the name now. It's in New York. It's a whole community. It's just Jewish people.
Yeah.
The whole community, and they got rules and regulations of how
Brooklyn.
if you Brooklyn somewhere else, if you go into their community, like, you got to dress a certain way, you can't wear certain things, you know what I'm saying? Got to be respectful to their customs, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, in New York, you go to New York, there's a Chinatown. You go to
You go to Federal Hill, you got
Little Italy, exactly, you know what I'm saying? But I've yet to see a place where there's a full establishments of black owned businesses where they're thriving and there's no division or there's no hate. You know, you don't see fellow doing something, you know, and you're like, nah, like, oh, you think he cool, or you think he better than us because he got a new shop, or you think he better than us because he got a new car.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's just the vision that's, you know, within our own community. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me personally, like, that's what, like, it saddens me.
It's
you know
good.
What I'm saying? It's
good to compete, guys. Like, I'm not saying don't compete. Don't, like, definitely go out there and compete, because there's a lot of talent out there and you have to compete. But, you know, like, it's okay to build a team and see other people shine. You know,
facts.
Like, everybody wants you to be successful until you actually are successful.
That's right.
I feel like the black communities, we just suffer so much from that because we just don't want to see our peers succeed, and that's crazy. You know, you should want to see your peers succeed, and when they succeed, go and get the blueprint.
Go get the blueprint.
Don't feel some type of way with it. Put your ego to the side. Go ask for some help. Go get that help. You know, I'm always asking people all the time, yeah, bro, how did you do that? Did you do that? You know, that's how I would buy my first house. You know, that's how I was able to, you know, go to college and get get that scholarship and get my college paid for, because I'm networking and I'm not hating on nobody. It's like, yo, somebody is already living a lifestyle that I want to live. I'm gonna go to that person and get that game. You know, I'm not gonna be like, yo, you think you're better than me, nothing like that. I'm like, no, show me how to get to where you got. Show me how to get to what you got. You know, like 50 Cent says, if you can't show me how you got what you got, then, you know, we really aren't friends. And I get it. Some people, they don't have to be your friends, but if you just approach somebody the right way, you can get the game from them.
No, that's facts.
And for the black community too, all it takes is just one person. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All it takes is for one person to spark some type of change in somebody's mind. And
it takes one person, and then it takes the support of everybody else around that one person to be like, all right, I see what you're trying to do. I see your vision. All right, let's uplift this person, and let's see where we can take this, you know, this mission that we're on in terms of unifying. You know, man.
Like I said too, like, that's why times is changing though. It just, like I always say, it's only gonna take take this one leap. I swear, if it takes this leap, black folks is out of here, yo. We might take over this motherfucking country.
I mean, we already set the trend. You know, like, black people determine what's cool.
Facts.
You know,
that's facts.
Like, we decide what's cool. The white folks don't decide what's cool. Hispanics don't. We decide what's cool.
That's a fact.
You know, so we have so much power, but we just don't use it the right way.
Yeah, I feel like if we're able to, because like you said, we dictate basically the movements of the culture in terms of what's cool and, you know, what's in style in that time. If we learn how to, like, monetize and build off of these things that, you know, have appealed to other people, or people see and they be like, oh, if they're doing it, or this group of people are doing it, okay, we want to follow, but we gotta, like, figure out a way to, like, monetize and, you know, gain or have some type of monetary gain off of these things in order to advance, you know, economically, you know, as a society, or just as a culture and whole. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I got a question for you folks out there too. Ooh. For all you folks out there that be saying things like, you know, like you know, I'm not African because you just don't know your roots, or you feel ashamed of where you come from. Like, bro, if you so ashamed of where you come from and you want to help out, why don't you actually take the ideas that you're doing here in the U.S. already, and go do that shit back home.
Facts.
You have no competition back home.
Nah, facts.
We need you. We need y'all to come back, and once y'all get these degrees, we need y'all to come back and build up the motherland. Because like I mentioned earlier, we've been raped so many times. So we need people that are not corrupted. We need people that are not thinking like they still live in the 1700s to come back home and change the system. Like build houses over there, build schools. And I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But that's honestly what it's going to take. And then as more and more people do that, and we get the country built up, people won't feel so ashamed to say that they're from Africa because we built it ground up.
That's a fact, though.
That's facts.
So go help out. Stop saying all this nonsense and just go help out.
Facts. That's facts.
Go help out. Go take a trip to Africa. And again, Africa's a big continent. There's plenty of countries out there. Go to Morocco. Go to Algeria. Go to Liberia. Go to Nigeria. Go to South Africa. Go to Sierra Leone. Go see these places and actually see how the people live. And I guarantee you, when you go meet these people, even though they don't have nothing, you're going to be like, wow, these people are so happy. Why am I not happy?
And it will change your perspective. It'll make you have an understanding as to why when these people do come from these countries into America, why they have that type of drive to want to improve or want to better themselves because of the living conditions that they had to come from and they had to endure. You know what I'm saying?
A perfect example would just be like this, Otto. Like, when was the last time you seen an Afrobeat artist blowing their money? All these rappers here in the U.S., they become famous, they lose it. Afro music artists,
never seen it.
they make money, they go back home, they build houses, they buy cars, and guess what? They own that shit.
They own everything.
They own that shit 100%.
That's facts.
They own their houses. They're not losing that money because they're actually going back home and building generational wealth. The U.S. is tough as it is, so if you don't know how to manage your money correctly, it's gonna go quickly.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts.
Man, man.
Yeah, man. As we're moving along, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, we all from the hood and shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
Hood niggas.
Hood niggas shit,
North side of Prague, bro. North side.
Yes, sir. So growing up, just your overall, experiences, the things that you've seen, did you ever, become used to, waking up, being junkie on the floor, you seeing drugs being sold, somebody just got shot, you hearing gunshots.
So you want him to give up a story? You want him to give like an event or a story, or you just want him to say?
Yeah, you can give like when did because me and Josh, we were born here, you know what I'm saying? But for you, like, when did it hit? Like, oh, like this is different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good
honestly, for me, I started seeing a lot of fights, just like especially in the black community, like after school, kids were always just fighting.
Yep.
And I found that to be so strange. And again, I'm not sitting here downplaying it because after a while, being a product of my environment, I started getting
niggas start fighting too.
Knocking niggas out too. But back home, school is everybody can't go to school. You have to pay for school, and the kids that actually do go to school, they're not doing that stuff in school. So I got a little used to saying, hey, that's just the norm. The kids in the U.S., they're just always going to be fighting, and they're just going to be being disrespectful to their teachers and being rude in class. That stuff don't happen back home in Africa. That doesn't happen. And I, getting used to seeing people, seeing junkies on the corner on my way to school, walking to school, that became normal to me. And honestly, I don't really feel like a kid should see that kind of stuff. It became normal to me by hearing gunshots, seeing somebody get stabbed across the street from your house. Those types of things became normal. But again, it's all that might become the norm to you. You just become used to it, but it does take a toll on you, and because kids really aren't supposed to see that growing up. So in a way, it kind of forces you to grow up quickly, which isn't fair because you miss out on that on the innocence years, and and when you get older, it's going to impact you in a way. It's going to dictate how you move, how you feel. And that's why this whole mental health thing is big these days. And
that's facts.
There is no therapy in projects. There's none of that.
Cause real shit too. Like, not to cut you off, but like you go from grown up 5, 6, 7, like doing kid shit.
Yo, I like
playing. Like,
yeah.
Me and Vali used to fuck with Yu-Gi-Oh heavy. Like what?
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all that shit heavy. Go from that to like 8, 9. You start getting older. Like nigga, you a bitch, and then now you gotta start defending yourself and shit like that. And then you start seeing motherfuckers getting shot every day, and junkies and shit. But how you gonna survive that if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit?
No.
You gotta wise the fuck up.
Yeah, boys were 13 years old in clubs, bro.
No bullshit.
We were 13 years old in clubs. 13, 14 years old fighting 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
I was up in the house parties and shit. Niggas shooting up the house party.
Niggas losing their virginity at 13 years old.
Crazy.
I can't be sitting there playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards or playing with some blades and shit.
Nah,
fuck all that. I'm trying to survive now.
Yeah, real talk. It forces you to grow up quickly. You know, like you can't really be a kid in the projects because you're not surrounded by kid shit.
No,
you know, you're surrounded by some serious real shit. You know, and being at the wrong place at the wrong time could mean it could be a big fatality.
Yeah, it could be the end of your life for sure. Not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, all that shit.
Definitely. So I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't change it for anything now because I already went through it.
Right.
But you know, I would do everything in my power to make sure that my kids don't grow up that way.
Yep.
I want them to enjoy their youth time and just, you know, keep that innocence and grow up and just, you know, be something else. You know, I don't want them to be surrounded by all of that craziness that I saw growing up. You know, even though it shaped me to be the man that I am today. You know, boys ain't no weenies over here.
No,
that's a fact.
But I guarantee you, my kids are gonna be some weenies.
Weenie Hut Jr.
My kids are gonna be eating that super weenie Hut Juniors. You know, like, you know they're just not gonna see that kind of stuff. They're not gonna know, you know, what certain things are because I'm just not gonna let them grow up that way. Which it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying the project, like, you know, we're
not glorifying.
It's just like as you get older, you finally understand, like, bro, that like I really shouldn't have to go through that, especially as a kid. I shouldn't have to go through that. It's not fair to me. I didn't even ask to be here. You know, I didn't have a say what family I was being born into, let alone where we're living. You know, so. You know, the kids are the future. They didn't ask to be here, and I think we need to make sure that their innocence and their youth is preserved, so they can make better decisions.
No, that's facts.
At that age, they're easily swayed. You know, if they're around drugs every day, they're gonna do drugs. If they're around gangs every day, they're gonna join gangs. You know, perfect example. I'm getting honor roll. I'm making good grades. You know. I'm wearing button ups to school, but guess what? After school, I'm taking those button ups off. I'm hanging with the homies in the in the neighborhood. You know, we're getting into fights. You know, stealing cars, stealing bikes. You know, playing victim. Type shit. A lot of you niggas don't know what that is. You know, playing victim. If you ain't from the hood, you don't know what playing victim is.
That's a fact, though.
Stuff like that. My kids are not gonna know what that means. You know, they're like, Dad, what's playing victim? Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know that. I don't want you to know that.
That shit crazy. Like, I look at my nephew and he's like 9 now. And I'm like, damn, yo, like the difference or the contrast between when I was 9 years old and when you guys were 9 years old, you know what I'm saying? And then I look at it and I'm like, damn, you really just a little ass kid. Like, this is crazy, you know what I'm saying?
At 9 years old, I'm trying to touch some ass.
Oh yeah, bro. Niggas lost their virginity at 13.
Touch ass. Fuck.
When I think about that now, I'm just like, bro, like 13?
13, yeah.
13?
Young as shit.
Bro,
yo.
that's young as shit.
That's young as fuck.
13?
But we been knowing about getting ass too, like around 8, 9. We was like,
yeah, we was with it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, at the pool trying to smack some ass in the pool and then running away.
Facts though.
you know, your brother throws a party, you come downstairs try to sneak in the lap dance. You don't know, but that's just
nigga. I was getting grind on like 8, 9. Hell yeah, I was getting grind on. What?
You know,
that shit's crazy.
It's just a different world, but you know, that's just what happens when you put kids around grown people shit that they really have no business being around. You know?
Facts.
Like you said, they become a product of their environment.
You know, that's a big thing. You know, you have to change your environment to get the distractions away from you. You know, you surround yourself with hoes, you're gonna be a hoe. You surround yourself with gangbangers, you're gonna be a gangbanger.
Hey, shout out to the first girl that grinded on me. You heard? I ain't gonna say her name. Shout out to Denise though.
Nigga stupid as hell, yo.
Yo, she was fine as fuck.
Yo, this nigga crazy, man.
Hey, Denise, where you at, shorty?
Oh, shit, man.
What part of Prov is Denise from?
Southside.
Of course, it's always the south side.
She came to the north side. She's fucking on the north side, nigga.
Yeah. The realest niggas are in the north end,
That's
though.
a fact, though.
But the south has some crazy niggas.
Yeah,
that's facts. That's facts.
The south has all the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans. Your boys be crazy over there. But
hey, shout out to V's brother in the back. We see you.
Hey, we see y'all. We see y'all in the back. Hey,
what's good, nigga?
That's OG. That's OG baby right there.
Baby right there.
all you boys out there, especially you kids in the projects, you know, be a real nigga, bro. Be a real nigga. Do it for the kids. Like, bro, they are the future, bro. They are the future. They're your legacy. Give them something that you didn't have. Make that sacrifice, because that's really what it's all about.
No bullshit. Like I said too. I said it in an earlier episode. Niggas just really gotta have like a business type of thing going. You look at the other communities, like I said, the Jewish community, the Muslims, Asians, whatever.
Jewish community, Italians, all them
motherfuckers. I say for black folks, if you start like a business, like a shopping mall, shopping center, type shit, and only put black business in that motherfucker, and then have the local people from the city or town or whatever in there, I think shit like that will start changing niggas' mindsets
and reinvest every dollar you make, you reinvest it back into the community. So if you know this person's house is messed up, you go help them fix their house. You know,
for sure.
If you know this person is going through some financial issues or troubles like that, you help that person out. You know, just lending that helping hand back into your community will cause the community to flourish.
On some real shit too. Churches used to try to do that type of shit, but the churches got it fucked up because they was greedy and it would only keep it in that church, and then that shit people like, oh, they used to just church folks and shit like that. They won't really give a fuck. But if it was like a real nigga that was from their town, city, or wherever the fuck they're from and shit like that, and then they did that and took it and made their own business and put the black folks in it and did black businesses and all that shit, like, then I feel like that shit will spark like a major change in the black community.
Definitely. In Providence, shout out to the Beat the Streets. You know, they really did a lot for Providence, man. Shout out to Beat the Streets. Everybody, shout out to them. And everybody a part of that organization, because honestly, a big part of changing things is just keeping those kids busy. You know,
no, that's facts.
When I was in school, if I had something to do after school, I wasn't getting in trouble.
That's facts.
You know, but these kids, when they get out of school, if they're not playing any sports, you know, they have no other choice but to mess around with the kids in the neighborhood.
Not true.
Mingling with the kids in the neighborhood sometimes usually means you get into you start doing things that you have no business to be doing.
Right.
You know, so just my advice to all you young kids out there, young adults, young men's out there, or how you all say with these YNs out there, keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy, because once you have nothing going on, that's when the distractions come into play. You know, a lot of free time is gonna get you into trouble. Keep yourself busy. Go do some sports. Go read a book. You know, go do something. Just don't sit still and don't get involved with the kids in the neighborhood just doing reckless stuff. Do productive things that are gonna really benefit you from later on in life. So go seek somebody that's living the lifestyle that you want to live and take notes.
That's facts. Yep, that's facts. And also too, within the black community and stuff like that, you know, a lot of times, you know, what stops us from flourishing or becoming, you know, like these other communities, you know, where, you know, the dollar within certain communities, it stays there for a while before it goes to other places, is our pride and ego, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times we don't like to see each other winning, you know what I'm saying? Or if you see somebody trying to better themselves, that crab in the bucket mentality, oh, you're trying to get up out of here, like, you think you're gonna leave us behind? Like, nah, like, get back here, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's everybody likes to see everybody struggling, or they look at it and they be like, oh yeah, it's cool to struggle, or they make it seem like that's something that's associated with being black or being from the hood and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So just that pride, sometimes our pride and ego, it gets in the way of us actually growing and flourishing as a community, you know. And I love black people, you know what I'm saying? I'm black, you know what I'm saying? Born and raised here, you know. I have family ties back to Liberia, you know what I'm saying? So I recognize both sides, you know. I grew up in an African household, but, you know, I'm born and raised here in America, so I know the American way, you know, and I know the African way too, you know. So I sympathize and I empathize with, like, what us black people have to go through, but, you know, at some point in time, we have to, you know, put our pride and our ego to the side and be like, you know what, let's help our brothers and sisters, you know, advance as a community, you know, and build that unity up, you know. And if we do this, like, if black people were to all come together, whether you're Black American, whether you're African American, whether you're African, whether you're Jamaican, Haitian, whatever you may be, you know what I'm saying? If it was all to come together and unite as one in these 50 states. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said niggas will take
Man,
over, nigga.
the things that we'll be able to do is
Talking to you Cape Verdeans too.
crazy.
Some of you Cape Verdeans be thinking you ain't black.
Yeah, facts.
That's a fact.
Talking to y'all too.
Y'all freaky ass woman. But nah, no bullshit. Like niggas should be like. I like to look at history and shit like that. If niggas had or niggas knew more about the Black Wall Street, like why wouldn't you want to do some shit like that again? Mm-hmm. In every fucking city.
Just imagine if in each state you have your own like community or something like that, and then they have like one thing, like let's say they meet in New York or DC or wherever, where everybody they have a representative from each state and be like, oh, these are the things that we need in order to fix our communities.
But
or,
also too,
stuff
like I said,
that.
it's the white supremacy shit. Like niggas growing up, they're teaching white people shit. They ain't teaching black kids black history. Even during Black History Month, you only learn 4 or 5 things or the same shit every year.
Yeah, of course, that's a fact.
Know what I'm saying?
The history is a little bit washed down. They teach you what they want to teach you.
Yeah.
You're not learning world history.
Right.
You know, you're just learning a small little part of it, what they want you to learn. You know.
Facts.
Like I didn't know about Black fucking Wall Street until I was fucking in my 20s. Like what? That should not be. The fuck?
Real talk.
That's crazy. And the thing is, like the way how they teach the history too, for a while it took me a minute to realize that Christopher Columbus ain't fucking discovered America. Like,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They had me thinking like, oh, this nigga just came here,
Exactly.
found some land, you know what I'm saying, and here we are, America today. You know,
Didn't that guy from SpongeBob, Leif Erikson, in that one episode of SpongeBob, when SpongeBob was like, "Happy Leif Day, hinga dinga." Yo, that nigga was in the U.S. before Christopher Columbus.
No bullshit.
What are we talking about? The Native Americans were here before Christopher Columbus. What are we talking about? He discovered the United States. If anything, he was just a murderer. You know, how are you going to come to a whole new environment? These people show you how to hunt, show you how to survive on the land, and you turn around and just rape their woman
and kill them.
kill them. Straight genocide.
And then say, oh yeah, this is my country. And guess what? You guys are Native Americans, but we're the Americans.
We're the Americans.
like
Shit don't add
You
up.
guys are the natives.
I don't call myself a Native African. I'm African. I don't call myself a Native Liberian. I'm Liberian. Like, come on, that makes
crazy,
no sense.
No, but that's just the way how they teach the history, So as individuals, in the Black community or any community, you always got to make sure you go back, you do your research.
But that's why I said the white
check your
supremacy,
resources and everything like that, and make sure everything is correct.
I feel like this times is changing though. So
times is
so people are getting more hip and shit like that.
Yeah, because I remember they used to only be showing those, for 2 cents a day. You can help feed this child in Africa, you know what I'm saying? But now with the advancement of technology, everybody got phones and shit like that now. So now you get to see how Africa actually looks, you know what I'm saying? It's not just them showing the dirt roads. Do they have dirt roads? Yeah, of course, you know what I'm saying?
It's not a developed country,
Right.
It's still on the come up. But again, we keep circling back to this. The continent has been raped plenty of times by all you fuckers out there.
Yeah.
So it's those same people that are saying, "Oh, why are you going to Africa?" That your ancestors is the ones that came and took all our resources, and left us with nothing. But we're still thriving with what we have.
That's facts. That's facts. Moving along, you know what I'm saying? Advancement of technology, AI is now starting to really pick up, you know what I'm saying? With the advancement of AI, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that, jobs in the future will at some point become obsolete, you know what I mean?
I don't think jobs will become obsolete. Honestly, I think AI is going to make things a lot easier. I mean, right now, a good example, ChatGPT. I use that at work. ChatGPT makes my life a lot easier. Like I'll type an email out, I'll paste it into ChatGPT, say grammar check. So I don't have to worry about those little trivial things anymore. It just it opens up more opportunity for you to focus on things that actually matter. It's like those little things where you're worried about grammar and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you see, you use it for the grammar and shit like that. Somebody will actually go write an email to my coworker saying this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
And that shit will really write that shit out. That's where I say that shit.
Yeah,
that's when it gets tricky.
For sure. And that way, it does kind of, you're taking away the soul of it, I guess. People aren't as invested anymore. But at the same time, we're in a technology-driven time. It's just like technology it's advancing so quickly. If you really don't learn AI, you're going to get left behind. And evolution has already taught us that, like, if you don't evolve, you go
get left
extinct.
behind.
So, it's survival of the fittest. You have to stay hip to these new times. So all you kids out there, all you YNs, instead of fucking around with the kids after school and around the neighborhood doing some crazy shit, go learn some AI tools. Go learn ChatGPT. If you're into marketing, go learn some marketing AI tools. Pick up on those skills, because that truly is the future. We might not know too much of that stuff because we grew up in a different time.
Right.
But every single time that I pick up my phone, or when I do have some free time, I'm trying to learn some new skills, because if you don't, you're gonna go extinct. You have to. You gotta keep up with time.
That's true. So do you feel like is that helping us? Like is the advancement of things like AI, these different technologies that are now coming out, is it helping us as a society or as human beings, or do you feel like is it making us less smart?
Nah, I don't think it's making us less smart, because like it's like a calculator. It's only good as a person using it.
Okay, that's a fact.
So it's like I think this AI tools is really gonna advance us to a whole nother level that we haven't seen before. Because again, you don't have to focus so much on doing trivial things anymore. AI can do that for you. You just have to have an idea and run with it. So I think the future looks bright for us.
For me, I'm gonna say hell nah. that shit gonna be fucking terrible as hell. Niggas gonna use that shit and just become mad lazy. Like if you tell them to do the shit without AI, then niggas ain't gonna be able to do that shit type shit. Only thing that niggas was getting wrong without AI was grammar and shit like that. But like the basic instructions on how to write an email or a story or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying, like 5 paragraphs or some shit like that. Later on, because of AI, I think niggas won't even know how the basics of that shit. If you tell them to break it down, they probably won't even break it down like that.
But let me ask you this though, like why would they need to do that if they have a tool that's doing that for them? Why do we need to know how to do that?
I mean, just to know the whenever you learn something new, like if you learn computers, they tell you the shit from the jump how niggas was doing this shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't even know the beginning of the shit, then like, how you expect to do the real hard shit and know that you're doing it the right way type shit?
Yeah, I feel you. I see where you're getting at 100%. But we could even argue that that what you're talking about now, that people that actually don't know the basics and they're just using the AI tools, that could become the new like low, like that's the new entry level. People that don't even know how to like do the standard stuff, that's okay. We have AI. You can use the AI tool for that. But people that are like actually know what they're doing and can actually understand the foundations and all of that stuff, they're the ones who's going to take it to a whole nother level, because they don't have to focus on the little basic trivial stuff anymore. Somebody else can do that, and I don't have to teach you nothing, because you have the AI tool that's gonna show, do it for you.
Yeah.
I'm focused on a broader picture. I'm focused on something way more high level. So we can have the entry level folks use basic AI to just accomplish basic things. That frees up time for people that are like more better thinkers to create better things. That's how I see it. Again, there's no right or wrong answers for this. I don't know what the future entails.
Right.
That's just what I believe.
Yeah, I see what you're coming from. I still feel like knowing the shit still
100%. I agree with that.
But brain power wise is I don't know.
Like, I don't know how it's like a few years from now how it's going to be in terms of, because for the most part, most of us we didn't grow up with these advancements of technology, so our memory is like good, like an elephant. Like we have good memory and stuff like that.
I know YNs that have driven to places 10 plus times but don't know how to get there. They use GPS every time. They use GPS every time. So it's things like that. The common sense kind of does go out the window. Yeah, right. I see that. It almost seems like we're becoming robots. I see where you're. But those people, I think those people are going to end up going extinct, and it's going to be the ones that are actually thinking outside the box and being more broad. Those are the people that are going to be the ones to get ahead in the future. Everybody else that's just relying on AI to just get by. Those people are just going to be getting by. They're going they're gonna remain either middle class or just lower class. They're just trying to get by. They're not trying to use it to get to the next level.
Okay.
You know,
I respect it.
That makes sense. You know, like I said, I don't know. Like in terms of like the future, that's the only thing that kind of like worries me. You know, in terms of, you know, because most of the things that are, you know, have been developed, you know, through technology and stuff like that, have been from, you know, people using their brains. Obviously, you can use AI and stuff like that to help you advance whatever it is that you're doing.
That's a good point right there.
You know, but
That's
it's
a good point.
like what happens when the AI isn't there to help you?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to use, or what tools have you gained from, you know, you just studying, or you just doing things on your own time, or, you know, teachers teaching you certain things or certain skills levels in terms of how to calculate certain things, you know what I mean? Like without having that tool with you, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing for me. That's where I'm kind of shaky. Yeah. I get it. If you use it, you got to use it in a way where the information that you get from the AI, you're actually using it to apply it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're not just using it to look for the answers to whatever questions you may have, you know, at the time, or using it to write out a prompt or whatever it is that you may be using it for at the time, you know. So if you're doing research, you know, you're actually using it to gain the information from the AI, using the AI to gain information about whatever research, and then you're using it yourself within the work that you're doing to apply it to the work that you're doing, and you as the AI is working, your brain too is working, you know, so that way you're not solely relying on the AI to do the work for you, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I honestly do think it's just gonna have to be it's gonna be based on the individuals,
right?
Because, you know, it's kind of like back in school when teachers used to be like, you can't use your notes on tests, but unfortunately that's not how the real world works.
Right.
Like every meeting that I go to, I have my notes. Without my notes, I'm dead. You know, without my notes, I don't know what meetings I'm going into. You know, because I have so many meetings throughout the day.
Yeah.
I need my notes. You know, without those notes, the meeting's not gonna be productive. So, you know, just having those things that you don't have to focus on, so, you know, that you can use that time to just focus on other things. I think that's gonna really be beneficial to the people that are actually using their brains. Now, the folks that aren't using their brains and that they're just trying to get by, cool, that's fine. You're just gonna be one of those boys that's just trying to get by. That's all right. You know, but, you know, we're not those people. We're trying to get to the next level. We're trying to excel. You know, so I think the AI is going to be good for us, to be honest. It's been good for me now. I use it at work all the time. You know, it makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, I got to get up on the AI joint. I'm kind of being, like you said, I'm kind of being reluctant. You know what I'm saying? I try to use as much as my brain power as I possibly can. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna look into the AI. You know what I'm saying? The Chat GPT, all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Use it as a starting point, guys. Like, don't rely on it.
Right.
Use it as a starting point, just to you know, form ideas, or, you know, just
that's my whole thing. Niggas gonna rely on that shit.
Don't rely on it.
That's where I feel like the society is gonna go wrong.
Yeah. If we start relying on it, like solely relying, you can use it to like help you in terms of like research and stuff like that. Because the way how it breaks notes down and everything like that, I seen somebody use ChatGPT before, and I'm like, oh, okay, like it actually breaks it down like pretty nice to like where you can understand. But you yourself as the individual has to take that information and apply it to whatever it is that you're doing, you know, and 100%. Not just solely rely on it to answer every single question
definitely
that you have.
It's just like a calculator. It's only as good as the person using it.
Right. That's right.
People back in the days when it was test day, they had a calculator. They still got the answers wrong.
No, that's fine.
Yo, that shit used to be funny as hell.
You still got the answers wrong, bro.
How you fail a test and you got a calculator?
Yeah, another example of this. Another example is this. You know, back in college, she just be like, "Oh, open note test,"
and you still fail.
Niggas still fail that test.
Nah, you stupid.
How you failing a test that's open notebook?
You stupid. No, I'm not.
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
You stupid.
That's crazy, bro. So it's the same. It's gonna be the same with AI. You know, it's really just gonna be based off of how you use it. You know, it's only as good as the person using it.
That's facts.
You put it in the hands of a goofy, it's gonna you know, it's not gonna get anywhere. You know, so just be productive and you know, don't rely on anything, 'cause especially you men out there. We don't rely on anything. You have to make things happen yourself.
No, that's facts.
But just use it as a starting point to get to where you want to be. That's all it is. Stepping stones, boys.
Yes, sir.
And after you can use it
yeah.
to yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you talking about. This nigga over here thinking about some other shit.
Hey, what's that stat again? By 2025,
Oh yeah, everybody gonna be fucking robots.
everybody gonna be fucking robots.
Yeah, I would argue a lot of people are already robots. To be honest,
Nah, facts.
PC ass niggas.
a lot of people are like.
Oh shit, man. But yeah, no, with the advancement of technology, also too with the advancement of, the social media presence, do you feel like, future generations will, still want to contribute to society in terms of, being the lawyers, being the doctors, being the engineers, you know what I'm saying? Or will it start to lean more towards everybody wanting to be a social media personality,
Yeah, unless they start making like robots or like AIs that can actually form these hands-on jobs. I think that the people that are doing hands-on jobs now, like plumbers, electricians, those people are gonna end up becoming like the new millionaires, because these days, bro, niggas don't know how to do shit.
That's facts.
They don't know how to do shit. Everybody relies on this social media and just technology to do everything for them. Nobody actually wants to put in the work anymore. Everybody's just relying on something else to do it for them, and they just want to get by quickly. Because if technology is so advanced, everybody just wants it now. I got to do it as quickly as possible. That process to actually get there, that's very crucial, because like you learn a lot in those processes as to how to actually maintain that success when you finally do get it. So without having gone through that grind, it doesn't really stick, So I know a bunch of guys now that are have great jobs, but they get their toilet clogged. They don't know what to do. They're freaking out. I'm like, bro, go take the toilet plunger and just plunge that shit
out.
That's not that serious. They're calling the plumber for that. Plumber comes out. Oh, bro, we gotta change this. We gotta change that. Man, we're gonna be here all day, bro. You're upstairs doing whatever you're doing. Plumber's over there just laughing at your ass, and giving you a bill.
Yep.
You got to use your head. Like, these AI tools are there to help you, but you got to remember, it's only as good as the person using it. So don't be a robot. You're a human.
And also too, in the society that we live in now, everybody looks for that instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? Some people, to become a doctor, you gotta do 4 years of regular college. And I think you got to do another 2 years. There's a whole bunch of schooling you got to do, before you could, the process of you becoming that, same thing with becoming a lawyer, same thing with becoming an engineer or any of these, higher end positions, that are very crucial to functioning or the functioning of society. Most kids, they don't want to wait, or they can't. They can't wait. They're like, I want it right now. Like,
guys, I'm telling y'all, whatever comes fast is not gonna.
It's not gonna last.
It's not gonna last.
That's facts.
Things that last, like you have to struggle for them. You have to actually go through a process. You have to fail sometimes. You have to fail probably 1,000 times before it actually worked. But during those failures, those failures are gonna be what helps you maintain them.
That's right.
Maintain that, and but. If it comes fast, I don't want it. To be honest, I don't want it. I might have some quick happiness, but like I'm not in denial. I'm not naive. I know that's not gonna last. It's the same. It's the same with girls. It's like, you get a fast girl. Do you really think your relationship is gonna last?
Facts.
Like, y'all aren't gonna stay together that long. It's just for the moment. You're just enjoying the time. Once the honeymoon phase is gone, you're back to being single again. So. Whatever comes fast just doesn't last.
No, that's facts.
Like, trust the process.
Always gotta trust the process. Always gotta fucking trust the process.
No Embiid shit.
Yeah, nah, facts. Facts. No, and speaking of, relationships, you know what I'm saying? These fast hoes out here and shit like that. You gotta watch out for them hoes, you know what I'm saying? You always gotta watch out for them hoes.
Wrap it before you tap it. You YNs out there, some crazy things going on right now.
Facts.
Wrap it before you tap it.
I gotta fuck with that.
Facts,
I know y'all be saying that shit don't feel right, but hey, what's not gonna feel right is you laying on that bed, you going to the hospital talking about, hey, you got this. That's not gonna be fun. Wrap it before you tap it. That's probably all you YNs out there getting busy. That's a very, Very important advice. Wrap it before you tap it.
You know, yeah. So speaking of relationships, you know, you guys are y'all niggas old. You know what I'm saying? I'm the young guy here.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah.
Couple of years. Fuck out of here.
Hey, I said the same thing to my old lady. You know, I said the same thing. Hey, you're 30 years old. I'm still 29. I'm still 29. When you hit 100, I'll still be 99.
I'll still be 99. Nah, but what leads to a successful relationship? You know, what's your guys' viewpoint on what it is to have a successful relationship? You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, it's just finding somebody that you are not going to give up on. You know, just how do I put this? You know, because what really is love? You know, at least for a guy, love for me would be, you know, like I get a thrill out of seeing somebody else happy. You know, like I get a thrill out of just seeing you happy. Like if you're not happy, I don't feel fulfilled. You know, that's what love is for me. You know, it's not really about so much like the appearance. I mean, obviously that might draw me in, but that's not what's going to keep me in the door. You know, it's not going to be your looks that keep me in the door. It's going to be more of that personality. It's like, are you worth me providing for? You know, are you worth me breaking my back every day to support you and to give you what a husband should give a wife? So, you know, but at the same time, you have to be positive. Like, nobody likes the bitch that's always complaining.
That's a fact. Stop
complaining.
That's a fact.
Just trust my leadership. Trust my leadership and trust that I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna take care of you. But I also understand there's a lot of brothers out there that really don't take that responsibility seriously. So
true.
I stay away from those goofy guys for sure. But at the same time, like if you do get a good guy, just stop complaining. Trust in him. If he has any dreams, support him. Don't be so quick to like throw his dreams out the window. Like he gives you an idea and be like, oh, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do that? Because honestly, that's why a lot you see a lot of brothers getting away from black women. And I hate to say that because I do have sisters. You know, I love black women, but
shout out to black queens.
Shout out to the real black, the real black queens. Not you use. I don't even know.
City girl wannabes.
Yeah, not you. We was talking about that the last
pod. Not you ladies that are just being so crazy. It's like you meet a good guy, you don't want to support him from nothing. He pulls up in a BMW, you want to be in a Hellcat. Like, you know, like what are you talking about? That stuff don't even matter. That's not love. You know? You know, just focus on the real thing. And for me, the real thing is family. Just building that family. Because if I find a girl that's just positive, she's not complaining. When I mention my dreams to her, she supports it. She doesn't quickly throw it out the window. She's respectful. I can bring her to my mama. You know, like those. If I see that, trust me, I might feel like I'm the man. I might feel like I'm in charge, but I promise you, truly, you're actually in charge. You can make me do whatever you want me to do. You have the power because I'm so in love with the person that you are, you know? So I think for me, that's what it is. And when you truly find that person, it's not going to be oh, she's the most beautiful person in the world, or she's this, she's that. It's really going to be those traits, you know, those strong core values, those strong attributes. That's what's going to keep you guys glued together.
The facts, man.
Gotta drop a. This nigga summed that shit out of that. He summed the shit the right way. You heard? No bullshit.
That's facts.
God damn.
And just to add on,
that's real nigga shit, yo.
That's real shit. You know,
real nigga shit, man.
Shit. You know, and just to add on to that, you know, when you're with somebody, it won't always be I love you. You know, it won't always be that. Don't. Yeah. You know, if you have that type of, you know, happy ever after the fairy tale story, you know, it won't always. Sometimes you look at your partner and be like, oh, I hate you right now. Like, but it's the commitment that you have towards that person to say, you know what, even though we may not be in agreement right now at this point in time, you know, I know later on I'm going to get over it. You know what I'm saying, we're going to talk it through. You know what I'm saying?
Communication.
Is that communication that you guys have with each other, and knowing that that's your partner in crime, you know, whatever it is that person may be going through at the time, you know what I'm saying, you're able to talk it out, or you're able to work through whatever it is it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I love you is not always going to be the hugs and kisses, you know what I'm saying, but it's because you love that person so much. You're like, oh, what can I do to better this person's life? Or if I did something wrong, what can I do to correct it? You know what I'm saying? And it's both of you guys being accountable for the wrongdoings, you know what I'm saying, and being able to, like you said, have that conversation and keeping that line of conversation, that line of communication between you two, not going to bed angry, making sure if there's something was said that you didn't like, you're able to come to your significant other and be like, oh, I didn't like the way how you said this, and being able to work through it. If you don't agree with that person saying, but for that person, you will adjust whatever it is that you're doing wrong.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I'm
give
saying?
and take, guys. It's definitely give and take. It's definitely not going to be sunshine all the time.
No, hell
you know,
no.
that's fake. If it's sunshines all the time, I don't think that's a relationship, to be honest. It's not, because it's never like that. That's a fairy tale. It only happens in movies. It's gonna be bad times, but to be honest, you just got to learn how to pick and choose your battles wisely. Especially you ladies out there. I know most of y'all feel like, oh, we shouldn't have to do that. But you know, sometimes it's just a matter of just knowing how to bite your tongue. Like you see your guy coming at you, he's just frustrated. And guys, we got to take responsibility and just learning how to pull our temper and just talk to our women respectfully. But sometimes when you see your guy and he's just having his moment, be like, bro, I'm not even gonna do this with you. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I know 10 minutes from now, we're going to be fine. We'll talk this through. So whatever you want to do, go ahead and get it out your system. You know, I'll let you vent. Go ahead and just vent. And when you calm down, we'll talk about this again and we'll figure out a solution. But if that guy is already coming at you, and you guys know how guys are, just alpha, he's coming in there and, asserting his dominance and just trying to be like, and you just come out of nowhere and disrespect them, especially knowing that if a guy was disrespecting him that way, he would go savage.
Right.
So the fact, like, why would I let a female disrespect me in a way that I wouldn't let no guy do? It's like, I think if you just learn how to pick your battles and be more submissive and say, hey, it's all right. Let him do what he's going to do. When he relaxes, we'll talk about this again. And then we'll figure things out. The more you do that for a guy and you just show him that you respect him, I promise you, that guy is going to be wrapped.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is going to be wrapped, bro. I'm always coming back. I'm doing whatever for you.
That's facts.
Whatever. I promise you. So just being feminine, and then you find a real provider out there. These guys that are true traditional guys that are natural providers. And if you are a true traditional woman and you're sticking to your traditional feminine roles, like a guy, like I said, a guy might feel like he's truly in charge, but I promise you, he's not. You're in charge.
And sometimes females, they don't realize there's power in you just being calm. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, being in that feminine energy. Babe, is everything all right? How are you doing?
Exactly.
You just checking in with him and stuff like this part, you have him, like, you know what I'm saying, even though he will feel like he's quote unquote in control, but it's really you who's, little, being in control a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we might be the head of the household, but I would say the wives are the next. Like, who's really moving the head?
Right.
Who's really moving the head? That's the wife. And girl, if there's really a strong woman in the household that knows how to control her husband and just doesn't feed into his emotions whenever he's having those episodes, like, that girl runs that household. Nobody even knows this. She's like silent plug. Nobody even knows it. She's just in the background like, hey, my husband is the face of this household. He's the one who's gonna tell you guys what we're gonna do. But really, when we're in the house, I'm the one making all the calls. I'm the one making the calls. I'm the one giving that boy that guap 3,000 with the oil change. I'm the one giving them that. Says I'm in charge. I dictate what he's gonna say yes and no to. Because he knows I'm a true woman. I'm not just one of these girls out there.
What's that James
fast.
Brown? That song?
Motherfucking, how that shit go? I'm mad. I'm forgetting. I know exactly. This nigga gonna look for that shit.
So, like, again, you young boys out there, you gentlemen out there, be nice to your girls.
Yes.
Learn how to talk better to them. Take care of them, especially our black queens out there. Take care of them, and all you black queens out there, take care of these gentlemen out there, because they're really going through a lot out here. It's tough out here. And they have to be providers one day. So take care of them and shelter them, because the world is not so nice to them.
What is it called? This is a man's world? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nah, it came to me.
Yeah, this is a man's world, but a woman runs it behind the scenes.
That's facts.
all you men out there think you really run the world. I promise you don't.
You don't.
The girls run the world.
That's facts. We gonna get copyrighted.
Fuck that copyright.
Hey, we're just listening to this music like normal people, bro. We're not using for nothing. We're not getting paid off of this. None of that. Like, we don't want no type. We don't own none of it. We're just using it as normal people, bro. We're just listening to music. That's all we're doing.
Like that lyric said, it's a man's world, but it'll be nothing without a woman.
That's facts.
Rest in
just
peace,
facts.
JB, bro. Rest in peace, JB.
Yeah, RP JB, you heard?
But moving along,
Yeah.
Speaking of and controlling their emotions, as mental health and things like that start to open up, do you feel like men are able to be vulnerable in terms of showing a little bit of emotion, the softer side, or
That's a good question.
do we still have to, have that wall up?
Personally, me, guys, I've been through a lot. I've seen some shit that kids really shouldn't have seen. I'm gonna be very honest. I go to therapy nowadays. I ain't gonna lie. I go to therapy nowadays. I mean, why wouldn't I? I was 13 years old. I saw people getting stabbed in front of my house. I can count at least 10 dead homies right now. One of my homeboys got shot up in his car. He was sitting in his car, shot 25 times. Kids are not supposed to see that kind of stuff. So just me patting myself on the back all the time, say, you know what, it'll be all right. If I don't really get it out of my chest, it's really always going to have a toll on me. I'm going to be fighting those demons. So me, honestly, it's a shame that the black community doesn't have some type of therapy program, especially in the projects. But I would argue that black people need it the most. We need it the most. We just go through so much stuff, just surrounded by so many things that we really shouldn't even seen. You more privileged kids, and I'm not going to say white folks, again, I hate to use that term because not all white folks are really bad. Or I'm going to use just the term privileged. Or you more privileged kids, because there are privileged black kids out there.
That's a fact.
There are privileged Asians out there.
Or you want to act gangster.
Exactly. All you privileged kids. Talking to you, King. T.I. son. All you privileged kids out there, right?
Ugly ass motherfucker in the chest.
Hey, Tip, I didn't say none of that.
Nah, Tip, your son's an ugly ass motherfucker.
I didn't say none of that.
Nigga came from your ball sack. That's crazy.
Real talk, he is privileged. It's like those kids, you guys don't see the stuff that kids in the project see every day. You're not seeing junkies on the corner all the time.
Real shit.
You're not seeing your homeboys die at 13 years old. You're not seeing your homeboys get shot up in their cars. I seen all that stuff before turning 21. So now that I'm an adult, that shit hurts. I think about some of the homeboys at the time, and I used to play basketball with, just walking to school with, and those guys aren't here no more. So that's why I celebrate these success, because to be honest, guys, I'm not supposed to be here. I ain't supposed to be here. I was living the same life they were living.
Real shit.
So I'm one of the lucky ones. There's really nothing special about me. I didn't do nothing special. I was just a random kid from the projects, just the same as they all are. But unfortunately, I was just giving an opportunity to tap into my full potential when my parents moved me out of that environment and put me into a different and a healthier place where I can actually thrive. That's all we need in the projects. If you just take these kids out of the projects and put them in a place where they can actually thrive, you would be very surprised on being, okay, hey, this kid is actually very goofy. He's not a tough guy at all. He's very goofy, So he's actually a funny kid. So for sure, I'm a big component of, hey, you need to open up and just talk about things and be vulnerable sometimes. I can't have that tough guy persona up all the time. True. Because being a tough guy is only going to get you so far. And whether you're going to have therapy with your significant other, your wife, or professionally, or just among friends.
Do you think they can? Circle. Do you think niggas like that can open up to their
wives?
Not I mean wives
in the projects.
Yeah, not I mean wives, but like girl they're talking to.
I don't think if you truly have that connection, that bond with somebody, regardless of where you guys are in life, I think it's possible. But I think that the world just puts so much pressure on men to be strong all the time that they feel like they aren't supposed to do that. They feel like they're not supposed to cry. Because even me, sometimes when I cry in front of my mom, she'd be like, hey, don't cry. Men aren't supposed to cry. Yeah. But to be honest, when I'm around certain people, like you, Ma, I feel like I should be able to cry. You're the person that I should be able to go to it and cry freely and not feel some type of way about. Yeah, and she's just trying to toughen her son up. But I personally feel like you should be able to break down around individuals, certain people. Whether that's a therapist, a brother, a sister, your mom, your dad, you gotta open up to somebody and just get it out.
Sometimes you gotta get it out.
You gotta get it out, bro. You gotta get it out. Prime example, my dad passed away. I was holding that shit in. I tried not to cry for so long. And then nowhere, one day, it's just like, I was just at work and it just hit me at the most random times. And now look at me, I'm making a fool of myself around all these people breaking down when I could have just cried about it to family members.
Type shit.
Just go out there and get some help. Kids in the projects that are seeing your friends die at an early age, they haven't even lived their lives yet. My heart goes out to you because I'm one of those kids. Now I can count at least 10 dead homies, and they all did not die in a very pleasant way. Rest in peace, Dougie. Rest in peace, Devin. Rest in peace, Jamal. Rest in peace, Kevin. Rest in peace, Chris. Rest in peace, Wesley. Rest in peace to all the guys, man.
RP, yo.
RP, man. Real talk. Do you ever get a sense of survivor's remorse or anything like that? Because Mace was on It Is What It Is, you know what I'm saying? And he said he was thinking about where he's come from and where he is now, and think about the homies that are still on the block, in the hood and shit like that. So do you ever get a sense of that feeling of survivor remorse at any point in time? Or?
I guess when you say survivor's remorse, like you're saying, do I ever feel like sorry for them that I made it and they didn't make it?
Something like that.
I wouldn't call it like I don't think I feel sorry for them because I just wish that they can be put in an environment where they can really truly thrive and really truly find themselves. And I guess that's some form of, I don't want to use a form of remorse because I feel like I'm saying I'm giving out like most charity. Like I like, oh, I just feel sorry for you. Like, no, like, it is what it is. You got to deal with the cards you're dealt. But I truly do wish that these kids can just be put in an environment where they can actually just be themselves and just grow up and just find their own personalities versus projects molding them into this tough guy or this gangbanger like they think they are. But really, dude, that's not what you are. By the time you turn 21, 25, you're not going to think that way. If you are still thinking that way at that age, something's wrong with you. Something might be wrong in your head. You might really truly do need to go get checked up. In a way, I guess I do, but it's hard to say because it's ultimately God is the one that dictates that. You don't pick your family. You don't pick the family that you're coming into. So you really don't know what you're expecting when you come into this world. So you just got to make best with the cards that you're dealt. But I promise you, if these kids from the projects are put in an environment that they can actually thrive, a lot of you motherfuckers would not have jobs.
No, that's facts.
A lot of you motherfuckers would be swapping seats with somebody else right now.
No, that's facts. That's facts. You ever get a sense of survivor remorse?
Hell no.
We ain't supposed to be here, guys. Just celebrate as much as you can. We ain't supposed to be here.
Real shit. At the end of the day, I make my own decisions and I don't let other people influence my decisions at the end of the day. So even though I grew up in the hood too and I come from that environment, at the end of the day, all I have is myself. So in that regards, I didn't be like, oh, I gotta go do this because such and such did this and this, that, and the third. I did, at the end of the day, I still did what I wanted to do and shit like that. So
you're taking accountability. That's what's up, bro. That's a big part of things. You gotta take accountability.
For sure. So if I wanted to better my life and I see everybody else still doing the same shit and I want to do better, why would I still be doing the same shit that they're doing? When I see a better lifestyle ahead of me and shit like that. So I wanted to improve. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they gotta want to improve. That's the main thing. So for me to be like, I feel sorry for you, but I can't really do that because you don't feel sorry for yourself.
I guess I could say I feel sorry that they don't know any better.
Exactly.
That's truly what I feel sorry for, because I can want to help you so bad, but like if you don't want to help yourself and you don't want to leave that life, then it really is what it is. You're not really gonna get anywhere. And unfortunately, that comes from just being in that environment for so long, where it's like that's all you know.
That's all you know.
If I get out of here, Varley, what else would I possibly know? This is all I know. But I promise you, more than just where you came from.
Facts.
I grew up with no electricity.
Facts.
I'm from Liberia, in the village, bro. I had no electricity. I came over here. That's where I grew up, but it doesn't dictate what I am. When I came to the U.S., I thrived. I became a whole new person.
The real shit too. Grew up in the north side of Providence, projects of Aberglen and shit like that. Grew up around there. That's for like up to 6, 7. That's all I knew. I didn't know
nothing else. Facts.
But once I moved out and I went to shout out to Man and a Half and shit like that, and I saw how them niggas was doing things and seeing shit going on in the neighborhood and shit like that. When I was to myself and shit like that, I want to go learn more shit. So when I did go learn more shit on my own, and I noticed that there's better and there's different way other shit out there, why would I go back to the hood and then stay fuck around with the same niggas when I already done like expanding my horizon and shit like that? And I know there's better out there, so why would I go back to the hood and do the same shit again and again? And
that's a prime example of Josh changed his environment. So like his mind started to open up. It's like, hey bro, there's more to this than just the hood. There's more to the world than just this small section of the projects.
It started with me. I didn't fucking have my nigga Henry go tell me, oh yo, you should go do this, that, and the third. No, I searched it for myself and shit like that.
You gotta want it, guys.
You gotta want it.
You gotta want it. Bring it to the water, bro. I can't force
you to drink.
Exactly.
That's facts.
And I cannot do that. You have to want it. You have to be able to help yourself.
And the same shit goes to the black community. If you know there's better out there for black folks, why not do better? Like, this shit don't make no sense. Like I said, I learned about Black Wall Street. Why would I not want that for my people?
Yeah. Talk.
In America, Black Wall Street happened in America. It didn't even happen overseas, nowhere else. It happened right in America. Why would I not want that for my
And
people?
niggas, like once you start doing stuff like that, people be like, "Oh, you changed."
Yeah, man. I
You
hate
changed. Like we worked so hard to stay the same, nigga. Like we
That don't make no
didn't work
sense.
hard to stay the same. Of course
Yeah.
it changed.
Yeah.
You think a butterfly stays a caterpillar forever?
Nope.
No, nigga. Like, come on. We have to change. If you don't change, you're not growing.
You're not growing.
All that ties into like what Tupac. That's why I fuck with Tupac heavy ever since I was a kid. That song Changes by Tupac. You gotta really want to change.
You have to. Without change, you
evolve.
cannot grow if you don't change.
That's facts.
People don't stay babies forever. You change. After the first month, your whole structure changes. It's not the same anymore. It's like you have to change in order to grow. The guy who's not changing is not getting anywhere. You're gonna go instinct.
Big facts.
You'd be a fool not to change.
Oh, that's facts.
Big facts.
As we're coming to a close, you good pod, you know what I'm saying? We need that NSA, NSA, PSA, nigga service announcement.
NSA of the week.
Public service announcement for the white folks.
Crack ass crackers.
The white folks, honestly, I would say get to know these black folks a lot more. They are more like you than you think. Prime example, I was doing some crazy stuff as a kid, right? But, when my environment changed, you all start to see me for who I really am and not necessarily for the surrounding that I was in, the environments that I was in, because I was acting those behaviors out. I had to be that way to survive. I was only acting that way because I have to do that to survive. If I didn't, I couldn't be around playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards all day when there's people getting shot. I can't do that. So I would just say, just get to know them, because if you truly get to know them, you'll see that they're really just protecting themselves. That's all they're really doing. They're just protecting themselves. We're scared of the same drug dealers that you're scared of. We're scared of them too. We're scared of them too.
Facts.
You got the cops coming in there with bulletproof vests on. Bro, we live there. We don't have no bulletproof vests. So it's like the same stuff that you guys are scared of, we're scared of as well. Just nobody thinks we're scared because we live there, but we're scared too. I promise you.
That's facts.
That's good. NSA. You got an NSA of the week?
I got an NSA, PSA. Let me see. I gotta dig deep. I ain't write anything down. You know what I'm saying? But no, NSA, PSA of the week. Just to kind of piggyback, what my man's was saying. If you are growing up in these impoverished neighborhoods, if you ever have the opportunity to change your surroundings, or have the opportunity to travel outside of where you live, whether it's going to another city, state, take that trip. You're saying expand your horizon, expand where you live. There's more to just you being in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole world out here. Use myself as an example. Growing up, I didn't even know until I started doing my college essay when I was in high school that I lived in the projects. So, you know what I'm saying? It didn't dawn on me until
that's how it be.
I'm like, hold on. We used to live in an apartment. Me and my brother, I'm sleeping on the floor and shit like that. Like, it didn't dawn on me until I was writing my paper. I'm like, hold on. Damn, I came from this environment. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't dawn on me that there's more, even within the own city that I lived in. I didn't know we had mansions in Rhode Island. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
I was just used to seeing, corner store, bodegas,
burnt houses, all
store,
that
projects,
abandoned houses, all that
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Now we call them a trap now.
Seeing the trap houses and shit like that. What I was used to seeing within my own state, And once I started to expand my horizon and start to see there's actually more than just being here on the block. You know what I'm saying? It expanded my mind and it helped me to grow as an individual. And I said, you know what? This is not where I want to stay. At some point in time, I do want to live in a beautiful home, a beautiful neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? And just change my environment. That's kind of the mindset that I've kind of gained over time, you know what I'm saying? But it was from me going and expanding myself, expanding the things that I've seen, or traveling to these different places and being like, okay, wow, okay, there's more to life. There's more to just this environment. You know what I mean? So
definitely. And all you YNs out there that are coming up, don't let these people trick you. Don't let these folks trick you. Having correct grammar doesn't make you white.
No, it doesn't.
No,
having correct grammar does not
facts,
make you white. Dressing proper, professional does not make you white.
But it is good to have that in your bag, though.
Exactly.
Your bag got to be deep.
Exactly. You just gotta know how to switch it. There's a time and place for everything.
Right.
It's like,
Facts.
I wear J's when I'm in certain areas, but it's like if I'm going to a business event, it doesn't make sense for me to wear that. It doesn't make sense. So and just being able to communicate your thoughts.
Right.
You have to know how to do that. You know? So don't let these people trick you into saying, "Oh, you're being white because you use proper grammar or you know how to like, convey your thoughts." That's what you want. That's what's gonna get you a good job.
Right.
That's what's gonna get you out of the environment, the situation that you're in. You know, you have to know how to network. So just don't let these folks trick you into not, tapping into your full potential. Because I had a lot of that growing up. Again, I used to get big honors when I was a kid. But people always be like, "Oh, why are you always getting good grades? Like mad white?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, we're in school. What else do you want me to do? When we get out of school, I'll act the fool with you. You could do that outside of school, but when I'm in school,
Doing my work.
what do you mean? I do that stuff outside of school because I have to. That's not who I am. I do that because I have to do it to survive. So just be careful out there. Spot the real and spot the phonies, and don't let these people trick you into something that really doesn't make sense.
That's man. NSA
of the week.
NSA, PSA, nigga services announcement. Public service announcement for the white folk. Man, that's dope,
Sirski.
man. You got a hot take? Are we doing hot takes on this?
Ain't no hot take
No hot takes today, man. No hot takes today.
This pod right here was like
Man, this was a good ass fucking pod, man.
It's
I
good,
like
like-
this, man.
good pod for like the people. You heard? This is for the people right here.
This
I ain't
is
gonna
for
lie,
the
this
people, man. For the people, man.
Yeah,
This
Sirski.
is a dope pod, man. I'm glad to have my man V in the building, man. It's always
Thank you
a
for having
pleasure,
me. I appreciate
know.
it.
I see all the success, everything that you've been doing, everything that you've gone through, everything that you have overcome, you know what I'm saying? Being that we're all from the, same city, same neighborhoods and stuff like that, we all as individuals have accomplished so much, and it's just
Also, too,
it's
coming
just dope
from-
to see,
Coming
dope to
from
see
where we come
are,
from, we
you know
don't
what
like
I'm
to
saying?
give niggas their flowers and shit. So
No,
we like
Yeah,
to give
no, real
niggas.
talk.
We like to
Real
give
talk.
niggas. What was it called back then? Dick riding and all this other dumbass shit.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's real cool to see my nigga evolve in life and become real ball
flourishing
shit.
like a
No,
motherfucker.
I
you know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
you, fellas.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
appreciate y'all. It's just a blessing in itself to see that we're all still this close. It's right. Growing up from elementary school and to us having our own kids now, we're still keeping this bond. It's amazing. I told you all we were family. Those are my cousins.
No bullshit.
Those are my
Facts,
cousins.
man.
So thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Let me know if you want me to come back. I can come back.
Oh no, this definitely won't be the
Sure,
only
for
one.
sure.
You know?
Hell yeah. This
Sure,
is
for
my
sure.
brother's opinion where we got on some episodes it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, gonna be on
some guests. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
gonna be some guests and have their opinions on here, get their insights on shit and perspectives on life and shit like that. And then some episodes, you know what I'm saying, I might act a fool and wild out and shit like that.
My main
But-
thing is I'm
yeah.
always doing it for the next generation, boys. Like all you kids
Yeah.
out there that are going through it in the projects, that are going through it in the north end of Prov, outside of Prov.
Speak on it.
Just I see I might not know you, but
Yeah.
trust me, guys. I feel that pain. Celebrate your successes because it's really a better life out there.
Yeah.
I know that things might seem really confusing now, and it just don't make sense. You're thinking, why am I in these predicaments? But just stay true to yourself. Don't get tricked out these streets.
Nope.
Focus on other things. And you'll be fine, but again, you have to get yourself out of that environment. You have to seek something better than what you're around all the time. You're not defined by just where you live. More to you than where you're at.
True.
100%. You have so much potential that you haven't even tapped into yet. So much potential.
As per usual, you know what I'm saying? We fuck with all y'all out there.
Yeah.
Once again, I appreciate my man V. That's Cuzzo right there. You know what I'm
Big
saying?
Cuzzo,
Big
you heard?
Cuzzo right there. You feel me?
Make sure y'all check us out on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all that shit. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio and shit like that, make sure you cop the visuals. We're going to drop the videos on YouTube and shit like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Sirski.
On all the streaming,
We're
any streaming
everywhere.
platform, we're everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere.
Every fucking where. So.
Hold on, too. I got pop my shit too, nigga. We gonna take over this whole shit, nigga. Let's believe that shit.
Facts,
Yeah,
yo.
Rhode Island, show my boys some love, man.
Yeah.
sir.
Show them boys some love.
It's gonna be everywhere.
Smallest state, but there'd be a lot of hate out there for no reason.
For no fucking reason,
Just, why can't y'all be like them niggas from Atlanta? Just help each other out.
Facts.
Yo, for real, man. For real.
Coming from the smallest state, but we're doing big things. You heard?
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Once again, this has been
My brothers.
my brother's pleasure. Until next time.
Keep God in your life, fuck, nigga.
Yes, sir.